when a man was cleaning. He accidentally found an envelope inside. It was a paternity test report. He realized that the boy he had always despised was truly his biological son. At this thought, he immediately ran frantically to the hospital. However, his mother and his mistress had already laid hands on his wife, all because he believed that his wife was carrying someone else's child. It turned out that on their wedding night 7 years ago, the man slapped his wife and then abandoned her. 7 years later, the man returned with his pregnant mistress. The usually sharp-tongued mother-in-law was unusually warm toward the mistress. On the contrary, the woman and her son were treated like air. Watching his father leave without a second glance, the boy ran forward, grabbed his hand, and called him dad. The man refused to allow his son to call him dad. Immediately, the mother-in-law scolded the woman for doing nothing all day at home and only knowing how to spend their family's money. In reality, the woman had never used any of the family's money. Over these years, all expenses for her and her son were earned through her own work. The man didn't believe the woman's words at all because he sent money home every month, not knowing that all of it was being embezzled by his mother-in-law. The boy tried to speak up for his mother, but the man angrily shoved him aside. Then, without looking back, he left mercilessly. The woman watched her son weeping bitterly and felt immense heartache. She asked her son whether he was willing to leave with her. The son said they had waited for his father for 7 years and didn't want to give up. He begged his mother to give his father 3 more chances. If his father still didn't change after 3 chances, they would leave. When they returned home, the mistress provoked the woman. It was then that the woman learned that over the past 7 years, every letter she had written to her husband had been intercepted by the mistress. When the mistress saw the man approaching, she deliberately splashed ink on her own skirt, accusing the woman of encouraging their son to ruin her skirt. The man immediately ordered his son to apologize to the mistress, not even listening to his son's explanation. The woman hurriedly pulled her son to her side and stated that he would never apologize for something he hadn't done. The man demanded that the woman pay compensation in anger. The woman hurled money at him, telling him to take it to the hospital to treat his eyes so he wouldn't remain blinded by the mistress. Her words completely enraged the man, and he grabbed the ink and splashed it on her face. This act completely squandered the first chance their son had given him. Soon, the man faced the second test from his son. Over the years, the son had been constantly mocked by classmates for not having a father. He longed for his father to attend a parent-child sports day with him. Although the man did come, he brought his mistress to choose a school for their unborn son. Amid another round of ridicule from his classmates, the man lost his second chance. The woman wanted to explain that the boy was indeed the man's biological son, but the man absolutely refused to believe it. At that moment, the mistress deliberately fell down the stairs, accusing the boy of pushing her. The man instantly felt a profound hatred for the son, first at him, and then anxiously rushed the mistress to the hospital. The son explained to his mother that he had not pushed the mistress. The woman knew her son was being framed. At this point, the son was completely disappointed in his father, having used up 3 chances. He no longer held any illusions about his father crying. He asked his mother to take him away from his home. Just as they finished packing, the man blocked their way. He accused the son of almost causing the mistress to have a miscarriage. He demanded that the woman kneel and apologize to the mistress on behalf of her son. Seeing that the woman refused to apologize, he snatched the photograph from her hand and threatened her. It was her father's only photo in the world. The man knew full well that the woman would have to give in. Seeing this, the son knelt down and apologized to the mistress. But the mistress insisted that the woman also kneel and apologize to show sincerity. The woman had no choice but to kneel and kowtow before the mistress. In the end, the mistress did not return the photograph, but instead threw it into the furnace. The woman rushed to the furnace, reaching out to grab it, but tragically failed to save her father's only photo. She finally snapped and slapped the mistress when she raised her hand again. The man stopped her for the sake of the mistress. The man actually struck her with 1 slap. This completely severed any remaining sentiment between this couple. Now that the man's 3 chances were used up, the woman, disheartened, no longer wished to tangle further. She calmly picked up her suitcase and prepared to leave with her son.